Okay, very good morning and afternoon and evening, wherever you are. And I warmly welcome to my live audience on Facebook and also my colleagues on the Zoom as our audience, and also my co-partner in this class. So, today we are going to discuss the only one session in our class, and that is in continuity of our online course, which we started couple of months ago on the pain body, uh, and how we can get rid of pain body. Uh, and a couple of months ago, we started actually what is the pain body means and how does it work based on the work of Eckhart Tolle's books as well. And we did understand the pain body, the idea and paradigm and perspective behind the pain body. And we covered a lot of dimensions about pain body. And then, after finishing that series of understanding pain body, now we are going to discuss, and we are in process of a new series, which we started also a couple of weeks ago, that uh, how we can get rid of pain body. Okay, we understand what pain body means is, and its important, its significance, and etc. But how we can get rid of? The question is, shall we only know what is a pain body, or do we need any action plan? Do we need a strategical thinker, becoming a strategical thinker to avoid the pain body if we know that I am or someone is um, a victim of pain body? So that series we have started, and today in this connection, we are going to learn important stage where we need to understand the how the pain body is transferred, is make our children victim, and it disturbed categorically with extreme emotion to the parents, and it ties with our parents' pain body, and the children's, due to their innocency, they become victim of the pain body of the parents. And it will help us not as a parent, but as an outsider, as a third party, if we know that some children are in pain body, and we can share this most valuable information to my friend and family, or even myself, if I'm a dad, if I'm a mother, or even a grandmother or grandfather, I can still learn a great chunks of knowledge uh, from today's topic. So my name is Maratib Ali Shad. I'm your facilitator um, for today's class, and I'm and Jenny and Cynthia is on with me on Zoom for for learning and for reading as well. So, thus many paragraphs I have taken from this legend book, A New Earth, A Creator, A Better Life, which is extremely getting popularity all across the world. And that is the man who's responsible positively to awakening the whole world. Um, and that is my favorite as well. Uh, so the key question we will cover in this session, only session, if that session goes longer, like more than half an hour, then I will divide it to the two sessions. The first session is this one. The other session we can do next week. So if it took longer as well. Well, let's have a quick look and create a craze. Let's know why we should learn this session from this session, and what content I'm going to be answered if I have in my mind as a parent, or as a just an adult, or as a conscious person living on this planet. So one of the key question or point I will learn, the parents may watch helplessly in comprehension and disbelief as their little angel becomes transformed within a few seconds into a little monster. And that is very annoyed for many people. I know in England, here in London, a lot of people, they don't like children. They don't like children not because of their mischiefs or their naughty stuff, but they actually don't like children because of their own unconscious beliefs about the children. Maybe they have a bad childhood or abusive childhood, and that's why they don't like other children. And here we see a lot of cops. Many times they come in the neighbor's home and they say, "Oh, hey, your neighbors are getting disturbed. Your children are making too much noise. Can you stop them?" So that type of complaints we often receive here, or I see uh, as well. Even though I have my children, but of course, thanks God, still nobody has complained that my children are making too much noise to annoy my neighbors. But anyhow, another point we learned, the children are not fooled by parents who try to hide their pain body from them. Like parents, they hide their pain body from children, but children cannot. Uh, uh, I mean, hide their pain body, and also parents uh, sometimes they are not able to um hide the pain body from children. In fact, many parents fight with each other, like husband and wife. They uh, they fight with each other, they argue with each other, they show abusive behavior with each other in presence of children. So children know that what is going on, and they, of course, um, take it what is going on, and they then show this pain later, in later days or later life as well from parents. So we must not fight in front of children. That is a point which we will take in this session. The parents often wonder how to deal with their child's pain. Many children, I know a lot of my friend and family, they don't know how to deal with children. The children's behavior is not understood by parents, or they or parents misunderstood them often, and that is the biggest problem. That's why the parents uh, are not able to manage their children's pain, I mean. And that's why they, lot of time, the parents in rituals, in making false claim, misperceptions about their children pain, and do often the wrong action, and that becomes the pain more severe. Next, the some children learn subliminally about uh, ego and the pain body simply by living with very unconscious parents. And you know why parents fight with each other in presence of children? Because parents are unconscious. They don't have control on their mind, that they don't need to argue with each other. They don't need to speak with each other rudely, roughly, um, and in front of children because they don't have control. That's simple. And why they don't have control? Because they're living unconsciously. If parents are living consciously, then they will settle uh, their problems in outside the house, or on an appropriate time when the children are not in the home. Uh, so something, but we don't. Parents don't. The next point we will learn, while the child is having a pain attack, there is no much you can do except to stay present so that you are not drawn into the emotional reaction. Yeah, when your child is in pain body because of you as a, I will use a bad word, I will use a bloody parent, because of you, your child has induced the pain body from you. And when your child is in pain body, then how to do it? Of course, you don't need to drawn into the emotional reaction. If your child is making a fuss, or your child is is just out of control, is like a monster, how you need to deal with that child, rather than to become a parent monster to stop that little monster. No, you cannot stop. The more you try to stop the monster child, he or she become giant monster. Okay, so don't try to be a smart and silly parent. The next point we will cover, the more unhappy I become, the more likely I am to get what I want. Yeah, that's very clear. The more unhappy I become, and the more I am to get what I want. It is connected with the other. The perhaps the next day you can talk to your child about what. Oh yeah, that is a very important point. We will come on this thing. Like if your child has done something wrong or show some unusual behavior, don't stop the child. Don't curse the child on the spot. If you want to really child to come out of this, talk your child separately when he or she is not in that state. And probably the best time is the next day, um, when there is no child does not know that my mom or my dad is going to talk with me about my yesterday's behavior. Then the child will understand, oh, okay, because now the child will not react, but in fact, the child will understand your point. Also, we will learn after a few times, the awareness will have grown stronger and the pain body will have weakened. So, that is all about awareness. Awareness is so important. And the next is the child is growing in a presence. That is also an important question that we, mostly children, they don't care about past. They don't care about future. Of course, which are hawks, which are deceptive. Past and future both are unreal. Only real thing is which we are living present moment, exactly like you are listening me attentively and I'm speaking with you consciously. That is only the real and genuine and present moment, a live moment. Apart from this, if even I'm thinking after a 5 minute thing, or after a 1 year, 1 hour talk, or of tomorrow, or about a month next, or about next 5 year, that is all unreal thinking I'm doing. So the child is the best point about the child. The child is always living on the God's reflection, because the God is only present when we are present, and child are the reflections of God. But when the child start to grow, then we, as a uh, bloody parent, bloody teacher, and the bloody society, start to fuel our children about fake things and making them aware that your past is so important, your future is so important, and we don't talk about present because we don't know about the present. So how we can tell our children about our present? So the child always grow in presence, the real child, which I'm talking about here. So there are a couple of things which we will learn from today's topic. Uh, and let's start it. And we start reading little bit. I know it's a sensitive topic, it's a painful topic for many people, many children, many parents, this and many adults as well, even if they are not living with parents, with children. Uh, uh, but we have opportunity to learn a lot of things. Have you across and see a pain body in the children? Usually we call, oh, it's very embarrassed. Oh my God, my child, oh my daughter, oh my boy, they did embarrass me in front of people when I was doing shopping. Oh my goodness. He or she was like a monster when I refused not to touch this doll or not to touch this toy because that's very expensive toy. And then he or she started to bang the shop, and it was so embarrassing with me. Have we seen or imagined this situation before? Of course, many times, probably. Probably I would be the same child who messed my parents' life in front of children, in other people. But in reality, it was my pain body which I induced for my parents, my society. But my society, because cannot understand it and do not want to admit the reality, that's why it's all my blame. It's all my fault. That's I'm trying to do. And they make a very good word. Oh, it's my child tantrum. I accept I bear your tantrums. I know, I know. So we basically as a parent try to manifest children's all wrongdoings and blame our children. They are responsible rather than we can admit that it was because of me. My child is like this. My child is throwing tantrum not because of me, him or her. It is because of me, because I did not educate myself. I was not spiritually aware. Nobody told me um, how to avoid pain body. Therefore, my child has learned it spiritually from me. Even when my child was in my tummy, and whatever I was thinking, it was going into the genes of my child, which is appearing later in the life of my child. But nobody knew about this thing until we become spiritually upgraded, and now we know that why my child is doing this. And a lot of if somebody wants to say that how I'm living and how I'm living unconsciously, just look at the children. If the children are behaving, I'm not blaming behaving. Sometimes behaving is a part of age. How the children are living consciously, sensibly, little bit, that will be the reflection of the conscious level of the parents. Don't blame the children. Don't hate the children. That's why the our social crimes in our societies is from the child pornography to child abuse, physical abuse is everywhere. Child pornography is very much happening in Western countries for name of many things. But the child physical abuse is also happening when the parents are drunken or living very unconscious. And also even it's happening in East as well. When have you see maybe you heard about the teacher hitting with the stick, strong stick to the child when that child is not well in reading in the classroom, or the teacher start to hit with the stick, and sometimes if not stick with the hands like a punches and stuff. Why you did not do your homework? How you did not do that's that's also happen in our society. uh, it's not happening in Western country, but in Eastern countries like Pakistan, India, type. So in other way we release and we blame our children because of me, because I don't want to admit my ego is responsible for my students' poor performance. My ego is responsible for my children's tantrum, because that's all their behavior and attitudes is actually the reflection of pain body induced from me or from my teacher, from my parents, from a society, and I didn't know before that. So that is the background which we are going to learn today. And if you see from here, the children, the parents, even a later age, when they are older, they still doing, oh my God, what has done? What were the children, how they are doing this? Or if the parents are doing some bad behavior in front of children, then they still feel embarrassed. Why they fight with each other in presence of children in front of them? And then what happened? The children start to shout and doing and cry and shout and take revenge and stuff. And that's all are reflections of the pain which the children have taken from their parents. So let's start to read it and then we can go further. So I would ask my colleague Jenny if she can start reading, please.
The pain body in children. Children's pain bodies sometimes manifest as moodiness or withdrawal. The child becomes sullen, refuses to interact, and may sit in a corner hugging a doll or sucking a thumb. They can also manifest as weeping fits or temper tantrums. The child screams, may throw him or herself on the floor or become destructive. Thwarted, opposed, one.
Sorry,
Sorry, a train came outside. My
sorry.
screen just went blank.
Yeah, now you can hear.
Yeah. The
You can
child
read it. Sorry.
screams.
Yeah.
Sorry. The child screams, may throw him or herself on the floor or become destructive. Thwarted, opposed, wanting can easily trigger the pain body. And in a developing ego, the force of wanting can be intense.
Mm. That's the we use and we think about many time. Have you seen this word, the weeping fits? How abusive word we use, weeping fits, instead of be empathize with my own child. I start to label it with good words of language. Cynthia, if you can start further, please, reading.
Parents may watch helplessly in incomprehension and disbelief as their little angel becomes transformed within a few seconds into a little monster. Where does all that unhappiness come from? They wonder. To a greater or lesser extent, it is the child's share of the collective pain body of humanity, which goes back to the very origin of the human ego.
Yeah. So
I I
Eckhart,
um I
yeah.
also call it testing the parents.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm.
That's true, Cynthia. They do want to test and see what they can get away with. They're testing their manipulative powers as well.
Yep, yep. It's not to me. It's not necessarily a behavior problem, but I know one time I went grocery shopping and Heather wanted something off the shelf, and I told her not this week, and she threw herself down on the floor, kicking and screaming. And the woman next to me said, "Oh, just walk to the end of the aisle. When she sees you leaving, she'll stop."
Yeah, that's true because they know that we will respond to their pain. And if they have pain, that a lot of times pain will give you what you want. Like
Right,
someone will do,
right,
like, here, just have it. So you'll stop. And then they're like, okay, that works.
right. And then there'll be another time.
And it'll be worse.
Yeah. Sorry, Meredith. I had to make
Right.
that comment.
That that's very practical and based on truth, I believe. But Eckhart Tolle is mentioning and is sharing that actually it is its origin in the collective pain body of humanity, which goes back to the very origin of human ego. So basically, he is criticizing the human ego right from the individual humanistic ego to the collective human ego. And don't forget, if my child is throwing the tantrum or having weeping fits, because he is not my child, I cannot ignore it. That is another dimension of our ego, that because we think his children or his child and his only the responsibility to manage. No, 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 no. That's why everything is coming back to us. Have you imagined, Jenny and Cynthia, how many millions people, children in Africa, they die because of hunger. They die because of too much low nutritious or bad nutritious food. And we don't care. And we don't care except few NGOs to feeding the millions, not billions even. They are in now, I think, hundreds of millions children in Africa. Or now even it goes further. Their children are also in India, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan. Their children are now more spreading in Middle East. And even these such children who die or have a severe threat to die because of poor food or be a hungry child, uh, in UK as well. In UK also, which is the richest country in the world as well, it is spreading everywhere. Because of our ego, we think my child is safe, so I don't care about the other child. My child is not throwing tantrum, so 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 I don't have responsibility to care about other children. So this is the original point where I'm taking myself as a conscious person, that our all children are our children. And if we have this empathy, then we can donate and we can contribute 1, 2, 3, 4% of my income to the people to give them food, to feed the children who needs food. I don't do because I don't believe on this. I don't care about children. And that these old children will share the collective pain body when they will grow up or become adult, and they will contribute in a lot of uh, uh, crimes, uh, such as terrorism, such as rape, such as uh, thefts in home, such as so many crimes we can imagine because of their poor and deprived childhood, and we don't care about them. So that is our unconsciousness or selfishness. Because of our ego, we don't care about the children ever. And then we start to shout, come on, stop it. And that only the pathetic mom or pathetic dad can do. And Eckhart Tolle further says, but the child may also already have taken the pain from his or her parents' pain bodies. And so the parents may see in the child's a reflection of what is also in them. Eckhart Tolle also says further, highly sensitive children are particularly affected by their parents' pain body. Having to witness their parents' insane dramas causes almost unbearable emotional control. And so it is often these sensitive children who grow into adults with very heavy pain bodies. When these grown or adult children start to relationship with their other children, other with girlfriend or boyfriend, and turn into husband and wife or turn into mom and dad, look at that pain body will release their stored negative energy. That energy could be in form of physical diseases or mental diseases, and that will destroy. And only you will hope what that you have to addict of any drug in order to avoid your pain. Oh, I'm drinking. I just done a 6 packs. I do, and I go in my toilet, in my bathroom and take the shower, and just I do take couple of sips and pack and just relax for a couple of hours. I'm getting ready, getting rid of my pain body. Or I'm using psychedelics, or I'm using some drugs because I want peace. I want to away from this pain body. And that's why the use of drugs or intoxication through alcohol is too much in the world nowadays. Do you know after pandemic, the COVID-19, after 2 years, one research in UK, I read on BBC that use of alcohol has increased dramatically from last 2 years, because people have a fear to die. People have even not fear to die, they are in some sort of mental or physical disease, even if they, after their COVID uh, test was positive and they recovered it, but that recovery is too slow, they have to be intoxicated state. So we take help from the drugs for avoiding that pain body. And many parents, they do, because of their own childhood problems, and that reflect on their own children, and their children will multiply to their children, and they will multiply to their children. And that's how the chain goes and spread like a fire in the jungle across the world. Even now, it's more in across the world because we are connected through internet with each other. Before, the spreading was very slow because of communication, because of there was no video, because there was no social media. Now I have a phone and I have a YouTube, TikTok, and many videos thing, and I enjoyed it. And during this enjoyed time, I see very, very sensitive content as well. And that content make my pain body alive. Many times, children, people, the parents, they see some video and they get upset. And that takes them in depression. That takes them back in their memories. And then the pain body becomes more active. And then that's why we have so many people, they are addicted of sex. They do too much sexual activity just because they want to avoid this pain body. And that person, man or woman, they want to have the pleasure of sex uh, just to avoid the pain bodies. So it's all about to pain body, and it's avoidance we do. Therefore, the Freud was once very right. The Freud, who is a founder of modern psychology, he said that uh, that the pain, that every adult has a childhood, and what you are today is because of you. It was because of your childhood. You used to be. Have you read about this? So that is the thing which we are going to suffer, and it turns into suffering and of parents, and hence its children as well. And also we can just learn one thing and then we continue this next week. uh, so many children, many parents, they fight maybe physically in front of children, and of course because of the innocent children, they actually cannot imagine that their superstar father, I mean, her superstar father is hitting her mom. Oh my, oh my God, I can't believe. I I imagine my dad is a superhero, and he is a ideal person, and he is the only ideal person. But how he did hit my mom? Can't believe. And that make the that lady, that child too much in um, what is called wonders, into amaze, in suspicious wonder, you know. So that's why it is too much tricky for the children. So let's read it, what the Eckhart Tolle is saying. So Jenny, if you can read it, please.
Children are not fooled by parents who try to hide their pain body from them, who say to each other, "We mustn't fight in front of the children." This usually means while the parents make polite conversation, the home is pervaded with negative energy. Suppressed pain bodies are extremely toxic, even more so than openly active ones. And that psychic toxicity is absorbed by the children and contributes to the development of their own pain body.
Yeah. So this is an important point. If you see, I'm highlighting here. Uh, the suppressed pain bodies are extremely toxic, even more than the openly active ones. What does it mean? It is very important to understand. Suppressed pain body, for example, if I have a orgo with my husband today, with my wife today, and my children are also sitting, and because my children is sitting, I suppressed it. Yeah. And I did not express in front of children, and for some reason it remains suppressed because of my busy schedule, because I could not explain to my partner. That person, that is more dangerous, because that stored negative energy or become a toxic energy, and when it will be released tomorrow or next time, it will be blast. So he is referring that even if you are showing your active pain with each other and throwing things on each other, or using the bad or strong language with each other in presence of children, that is little better than what you will suppress your pain body and will release tomorrow. You know what I mean? So um, that is also one of the thing. And many people, they they say each other bad things, not because of hurting each other, because just they want to say this. This is their feeling. They want to get rid of this feeling. Have you come across those people? I know a couple of people. They are couples, and they fight like after a couple of weeks, when their negative energies and thoughts start to stored here, and they just sit for half an hour and they start to throw. And you did this, you did this, or you are this, or you are this. So they blame each other just within half an hour, so that they cool down later, so that, and they know very well consciously that they are just releasing their negative thoughts, but they mean to hurt my wife. They don't mean to hurt my husband, because I know my wife is innocent. I know my husband is innocent. But what is the way I can release this negative energy? So they make this setting that they sit one to for half an hour in a close maybe room or maybe open air, and nobody is seeing, just they are uh, saying bad things to each other, and after half an hour they are fresh, and then they will restart that thing. It looks hilarious, but it is. In England, in London, where I'm living, there is a place within central London. I haven't visited that place, and that place is that anybody who want to release or who want to say abusive or abuse to anyone, they go there and they shout, they do something. There will be no problem about that. I mean, you can do it, and you just release your energy there and just then go back home. You know that this is the reflection, this is the 100% reality which I'm sharing with you, that why our ego, we are built by our ego, we are built by our mind, egoic mind. And because of lack of spirituality, because lack of our immaterial or metaphysical world, we have even too much to release. Even I will dissolve, I will die, but I cannot live without fight with other one. I cannot live without other person's success should be felt. Um, I mean, sorry, I don't want to see someone's in a successful state. I want others' failure. I want others' beauty to unbeauty. I want other person to uh, go in some fatal disease that my ego needs. I am jealous. I have so many crave about to feel my own sense of superiority over other. And that's every role where I am living and I am in. I want to be superior and best, and by leg pulling of other person, and that my ego is doing, and that is called, what a personality he or she has. That's all fake. That's all um, deceptive things because of our pain body and lack of awareness, spiritual awareness, what I call. So I think I have other couple of details as well, and that will take another maybe half an hour or hour as well. So I think we can pause here, and we will continue from here to next Sunday. But in the meanwhile, if you have any question, if you have any thought, or if you have any critique, please share. More you will share, more you will be have clarity.
My parents never fought in front of us, never showed any anger or disappointment. But all of a sudden, like years later, they got a divorce and we could never figure out why, because they didn't. I guess they suppressed their feelings. They didn't want to upset us. But like I said, it was more confusing to all of a sudden they're getting a divorce.
Mm, mm. Yeah, yeah. Some people they do, uh, and that is very appropriate way as well. And you were surprised, like you saying you are surprised when they divorce because they apparently never fight in front of their children, in front of
Never.
you.
Nope,
Yeah,
never ever.
but they were not happy for some reason, and that's why they decided to separate. And that is a, I think, the beautiful management as well. Um, and hopefully after separation they live happily.
Yes, they did.
Okay, that's great. It's a look. There is always a peaceful exit way. There should be always a peaceful exit way, and that exit way may, based on your story, that is amazing thing to know. But usually, mostly people, they don't have a safe plan to exit. So because of ego, they basically, when ego is higher, then actually you are highly emotional, and because of crave of emotional fulfillment, you want to destroy someone, or you want to make some strong point so that you can feel victim in future after separation. And many couple, um, they actually do this. They took and they absorb couple of 3, 4, 5 points why I'm taking divorce, why she rejected me, why he rejected me, and just stored in the mind. And when they are separated, and when they were in cool states in some time in future, they actually realized, oh, what a silly I was. Actually, it wasn't because of her. It wasn't because of him. It was because of my ego. I could be stop myself for doing this thing. I could be stop myself to not to think in this way. I could have done this in this way. Oh, but that was the, like, just embarrassment we feel. And but there is a good point as well. When many people they separate, You know that the research is also tells the best friends people become when they divorce each other, because they're consciously, they they still know that my wife was my ex-wife was my best friend, and they live like a friend now. For any life decisions when they need to take, they contact the ex-husband or ex-wife and say, look honey, uh, I have this problem, and what do you think honey? And the other person suggest good things, because why? The other person becomes your good friend, who fought with you, who who abused you, but now you think that he is your, or she is your best friend, because you know that it all because of your ego or his ego. It wasn't your fault, it wasn't her fault. So that realization, spiritually realization, I would say, make them friend again, and they become actually best friend. And that's why a lot of people, when they do second marriage, and the second wife or second husband, when second wife or second husband realize you still connect with your first wife, you still connect with your first husband, and you have a soft corner about, then your second marriage also become a hell. And then of course you have to leave your second husband, second wife as well, and then you remain in more pain again. Oh my god, my second marriage was also end in failure. Oh my god. Oh, why did I um, why did I not reconcile with my first husband, first wife? It was a better decision, um, to not to divorce with my first wife. That was a good, because I know she understands me well than my second wife. Oh my God. Or at the same thing from. So what my point is, my point is here is that many people think that the end of divorce is the only solution for their problem. But because we are reading here spiritual stuff, so we need to manifest our problems in spiritually. And the spiritually reasons are because of my pain body, because of my ego, because of the collective pain body, I became victim, and I lost my true spiritual self, and therefore I actually lived with the fake self, and that fake self was built by my egoic mind, and therefore I divorced from my wife, I divorced from my husband, and my children suffered, or I suffered because of my children's separation. Of course, after ending in divorce, whether the children will go to mom or children will go to dad, whatever their adjustment. So other person will be suffered a lot, and then you will be in trouble physically, because more likely your defense mechanism of physical health will be a collapse. Sooner or later, you may have stroke, you may have heart attack, you may have some other ill diseases, because too much pressure is now on you. You have lost too many, unless you are spiritually awakened. Because remember, in the last couple of paragraphs, we learned the more pain you have, there are more likely you will awaken spiritually. And many people, they awaken spiritually, and then they never even imagine that there was their children. Once upon a time, there used to be a wife. Once upon a time, she used to have 5 children. Now she doesn't care, because now she's awakened. She is just um, she is just one with the God. She's one with the. She's a monk of Jesus. That's it. So that comes as well, but these are very few people who awakens, who experience awakening after their huge setbacks in life and failure, unless you are able to cope your ego. But even if you have a disaster in your life in many ways, if you are aware that you are no longer driven by ego, there are very positive chances you still live with peace and happily in the later life. But if mostly people, 90% people, they still in the hands, in the clutches of ego after setbacks, after troubles in their life, financially, relationship wise, and many other things, they never come back, and they have to be intoxicated with sex, with drugs, with wrongdoings, with many other things. That is the only way they can avoid the ego, because they don't know, they are not aware that they are the children of God. And that's the problem. That is the biggest problem. But once who believe and experience that he is a child of God or she is a child of God, then there is an awakening. Of course, there is an awakening. Thank you very much. I hope we have taken some chunks of good things with us, and we will continue this topic next week. And you can invite your friend and family for this class, and hopefully this 1 hour will be a life-changing hour for ourselves and for others. Thank you very much. I am Marathi Bali, and I will see you next Sunday, same time. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Meredith.
you. Bye, Cynthia. Have a good week, both of
You
you.
too. Bye-bye
Bye.
now.